Hello, good morning everyone. In the last session, we have discussed about the diffraction, what is meant by diffraction, what are the conditions for the diffraction to take place, and what are the types of diffraction, and the difference between the types of diffraction. Okay, we have come across with the two types of diffraction, that is Fresnel diffraction and the Fraunhofer diffraction, and all those things. Okay, so this is what we have taken. Now, let us pass on to the next session. In this session, we are going to discuss on the half period zones. What is meant by half period zones? Now, let us consider the light is coming from a distant object. Light is coming from the object. We consider a plane wavefront like this, a plane wavefront A, B, C, and D. Okay, this is a wavefront. Now, let us consider some particular point O. At this particular point O, we are going to find out what is the resultant effect of the total wavefront. Now, this wavefront along this particular line, okay, each and every point on the wavefront is going to be the point source of secondary wavelight according to your Huygens principle. Okay, each and every point on the wavefront is a source of secondary wavelight. That means they can send wave in all directions. So this particular point is going to be a source of secondary wavelight. It can send light in all all directions. So this disturbance is going here and it gives some effect at this particular point. In the same way, at this particular point, it can give out light in its light of its own, and it passes and it produces the same effect, it produces some effect at the point. Like this, all these secondary wavelets passes through the point O. Okay, after some time, passes through the O and produces its own effect. What is our aim? Our aim is to find out what is the total effect. What is the total effect at the point O due to all these disturbances which are coming from the different parts of the wavefront. This is our aim. Now let us consider this P as O as a center. We can draw a concentric circle. So what is the distance from this center point to the O point? It is B. It is mentioned as B. Okay. Let us say it is B or A, something, let us say something B, I will call it as B. Okay, it is B. The distance is B. So with this distance as a radii, and B, next one is B plus lambda by 2. B plus lambda by 2. Next distance is O to M2. This is M1, M2, M3, etc. Mn. So OM1 is equal to B to B plus lambda by 2. OM2 is equal to B plus 2 lambda by 2. Next, OM3 is equal to B plus 3 lambda by 2. There it is. Say, for example, Mn. If I have lost Mn, then it is going to be B plus N lambda by 2. So, this is going to be the distance of the source of secondary point and the point O. Now, these points as radii, let us draw a concentric circle. Let us draw a concentric circle like this. And these circles are going to cut the wavefront into different zones. This is what we have written here. These circles which we are written, which are drawn with these distances as a radii. And we have drawn a circle. And these circles are going to cut the wavefront in different zones. And here the first zone is a perfect circle, and the second zone between this point to this point is a annular ring. It is not a circle, it is a annular ring. Similarly, this one is also a annular ring, this one is also a annular ring. Therefore, we are going to get different annular rings. That means zones. We have different zones. This is one zone, second zone, third zone, fourth zone, fifth zone, like this. It is divided into number of zones. Okay. And now the light from one zone to another zone in reaching the point O are different. They are not the same because this disturbance produces its own effect on its own time. This disturbance produces this particular point produces a disturbance of its own in a particular time. This particular point produces a disturbance of its own particular in its own particular time. Therefore, these disturbance in reaching the point O is different. Okay, is different. Okay, let us consider what is the difference of what is the difference? What is the phase difference and what is the path difference? Let us consider first path difference. What is the path difference from one point to another? From this point to this point, what is the path difference? Let us calculate. Okay. So let us consider this is OP. First one is OM1. Let us take OM1 minus of OP. What is OM1? This is path difference. Path difference. I am calculating path difference. Path difference is equal to OM1. OM1 is B plus lambda by 2. Okay. And then what is OP? OP is equal to B. So B gets cancelled. What is this? Lambda by 2. Similarly, we have another one also you can calculate. It is going to be lambda. Okay. Lambda by 2. Therefore, in reaching the point O, the path difference is going to be lambda by 2. When the path difference is lambda by 2, what should be the phase difference? What should be the phase? This is all the explanation which I have given now. Okay. Now we are calculating the path difference. So this is the path difference, lambda by 2. This means that the secondary wavelet originating from P and from the points on the circumference of the circle M1 on reaching O will differ in phase by 2 pi by lambda into OM1 minus OP. That means phase difference is equal to phase difference. You know this. The phase difference is equal to 2 pi by lambda into path difference. This is the formula. Okay. Path difference. Path difference as we calculate it is lambda by 2. Phase difference is equal to 2 pi by lambda into the path difference. 2 pi by lambda into lambda by 2. This get cancelled and 2 get cancelled. You will get only pi. So phase difference is what? Pi is the phase difference. That is from the point. You can see here from here to from this particular point to this particular point. Light in reaching from this point to this point is differ by a phase of pi. Differ by a phase of pi and differ by a path difference of lambda by 2. Okay. And this phase difference, pi rad is the phase difference. This phase difference is also equivalent to the phase difference of T by 2. What is T? T is period. Okay, period by 2, half the period. This phase difference pi rad is nearly equal to half the phase of the period. Hence, the area enclosed by the circle M1 is called as Fresnel's half period zone. This is the definition. What is meant by half period zone? Half period zone, the first half period zone is a circle, while the second half period zone is an annular ring between M1 and M2 and so on. Okay, you must have the clear idea of what is meant by half period zones. The definition is very clear now. An optical wavefront is considered to be divided into a number of concentric annular zones, so that at a given point in front of a wave, illumination from each zone is half a period out of phase with that from its neighbor. Okay, this is very clear. An optical wavefront is considered to be divided into a number of concentric annular zones, so that at a given point in front of the wave, the illumination from each zone is half a period out of phase with that of its neighbor. You can understand here in this case, in this diagram, these are the annular rings. I will repeat it. Okay. So, at this particular point, light from this particular portion and the light from this particular portion in reaching this particular point O are differ by a phase of path difference of lambda by 2 or phase of pi, phase difference of pi, and this phase difference is equal to t by 2. So there is that means the area enclosed between this particular region is half period. This is half period. Okay. T is period, half period. Half period. So light in reaching these two consecutive points, the point O is differ by a phase of half the period. Therefore, the area enclosed by these two particular regions, this particular region is what is called as half period zone. Similarly, light from this particular point to from this particular circle here in this case is also the same T by 2. So the area enclosed here is also a half period zone. Is also a half period zone. Similarly, any number of concentric circles you write. So from the point, from that particular point in reaching the point O, okay, are differ by a phase of T by 2. Therefore, the area enclosed by the two consecutive points is what is called as half period zones. So again, an optical wavefront is considered to be divided into number of concentric annular zones, which are written here, so that at a given point in front of the wave, like O, the illumination from each zone. So this is one zone, this is another zone. Similarly, any number of zones you consider, light from illumination from each zone is half a period. Illumination from each zone is half a period out of phase with that from its neighbor. Okay, light illumination from this zone is half a period out of zone with that of this zone. Okay, if I consider A and B, if I write it as A and B, it shows here. If I call it as A and this as B and this as C, the light is reaching the point O. Light in reaching the point O is half a period out of phase with that of the light reaching the point O from A. Okay. Light from B is half a period out of phase in reaching the point O with that of the light from the point A. If I consider C, light from C is half a period out of phase by the light from the point zone, point B. Like this, each and every point, it is differ by a phase of half a period. Therefore, the area enclosed between the 2 points A and B, this area is what is called as the half period zone. Area between B and C, this particular angular ring is what is called as the half period zone. Like this, half period zone is defined. Right? So, what is the total intensity at this point is the total intensity of algebraic sum of all the intensities or illuminations which are which are crossing the point O. So this is how we can define the half period zone. So for this particular session, I will stop here. In the next session, I will start how to calculate the radius of the zone, how to calculate the area of the zone, what is the resultant intensity at the point, and on the basis of this, how can we are able to explain the rectilinear propagation of light. Okay, all these things we will discuss in the next session. Okay, for the time being, I'll stop here. Thank you very much.